Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We're going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 2, Text 9. Does anyone remember what we read yesterday?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we read yesterday like when Lord killed Hiranyakashipu's brother Hiranyaksha. So he became very much in anger, like Lord is doing partiality. He's not equal with all, like will do some disturbance in the earth. Like when somebody will do puja or yagya, we will stop them to do these all things, and um, like he is very much in anger, like because Lord killed his brother, so he think like Lord is supreme personality is not very equal to demons and the demigods, so he want to do some like some activity which is apart from the devotees activity, and because these all were the plan of Lord Krishna, he sent them to the earth because he wanted to fight with them, and that's why he killed himself by taking like a boar. Uh, uh, I forgot. Yeah, I think boar, right?
Yeah, he killed Hiranyaksha by taking the,
Yeah,
coming as
the
Lord
form
Varaha.
in the form of Baraha.
Yeah,
Yeah, boar. Yeah, the same. Yeah.
he
So
killed Hiranyaksha in that
he
form.
killed.
Yeah.
So these all are like plan from the Krishna, but because he was in material world, so he forgot, and he is influenced with the Maya and the
Who,
material.
who, who, who?
Hiranyakashipu.
Yeah,
Hiranyakashipu.
yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Not Krishna.
No, no,
Krishna
not
never
Krishna.
forgave.
Hiranyakashipu. Yeah, Hiranyakashipu.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's it. I remember.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. So Hiranyakashipu is very upset. He's saying, I want to kill Vishnu now because
Yeah.
he's killed my brother. So he wants to kill God, So
Mm.
that's demoniac way of thinking that we can kill God. That's what we were trying to understand. So going on, tasmin kute hite nashte
Tasmin kutehi te naste
krita mule vanaspatau
krita mule banaspata
vittapa iva shushyanti
vitapa
Vittapa iva shushyanti
pushyanti
Vishnu prana divokasaha
Vishnu
Vishnu
prana
prana divokasha.
devokasha.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When the root of a tree is cut and the tree falls down, its branches and twigs automatically dry up. Similarly, when I have killed this diplomatic Vishnu, the demigods, for whom Lord Vishnu is the life and soul, will lose the source of their life and wither away. The difference between the demigods and demons is here explained. The demigods always follow the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas the demons simply plan to disturb or kill him. Nevertheless, sometimes the demons very much appreciate the full dependence of the demigods upon the mercy of the Lord. This is indirect glorification of the demigods by the demons. So the demons are always trying to kill Vishnu, whereas the demigods are always praying to Lord Vishnu, always taking his shelter. So Prabhupada is explaining that here Hiraṇyakaśipu is saying, I'm going to kill Vishnu, and automatically all the demigods will also die because they're so dependent on Vishnu. So indirectly, that's a glorification, because to be dependent on God, to follow the rules of the Lord, that is what is wanted. So indirectly, he is glorifying the demigods. He was saying, we heard yesterday that, oh, Vishnu, he's God. He's always impartial. He's equal to the demons and demigods. Now, suddenly, what happened to him that he took the side of the demigods and he killed my brother? But we were hearing it's not that he took the side of the Vishnu took the side of the demigods. It's because the demigods were righteous. And so time is in their favor. And that's the reason they're always winning. So going on then. Tavad yata bhuvam yuyam
Tavat
Tavadata
yata bhuvam yuyam
brahma shatra samedhitam
brahma shatra sameditam
sudya sudayadvam tapogya yagya
sudayatvam tapo yagya
swadhyaya vratadanina.
swadhyaya vrata danina.
While I'm engaged in the business of killing Lord Vishnu, go down to the planet Earth, which is flourishing due to Brahmanical culture and a Kshatriya government. These people engage in austerity, sacrifice, Vedic study, regulative vows, and charity. Destroy all the people thus engaged. Hiraṇyakashipu's main purpose was to disturb the demigods. He planned first to kill Lord Vishnu, so that with Lord Vishnu's death, the demigods would automatically weaken and die. Another of his plan was to disturb the residents of the planet Earth. The peace and prosperity of the residents of Earth and all the other planets were maintained by the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4.13, Chaturvarnyam maya shrishtam guna karma vibhagasha. According to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society were created by me. So Hiranyakashipu is telling his friends, you go to the earth and you kill the Brahmanas, kill the Kshatriyas. Because they are righteous, he say, I'm going to kill Vishnu. I'll kill Vishnu, the demigods automatically will die because they are dependent on Vishnu. And you go to the earth and you kill the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas because they are the ones who are also doing their activity in their righteousness. They're doing all the yagyas, and the demigods are getting a share of the sacrifices. So stop that. He wanted to destroy the demigods completely. So Prabhupada here is quoting Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is saying that he created this Varna Sharma system. He created the divisions of society, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Based on what? Is it based on birth? These divisions?
modes of material nature.
That's right. Yeah. Modes of material nature and
Work
work.
ascribed to.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guna karma vibhagasa. Based on modes of nature and the work. Based on that, he created. So it's not on birth. So on all the planets, there are different types of residents, but the Lord recommends referring especially to the planet Earth, which is inhabited by human beings, that society be divided into four varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Before the advent of Lord Krishna on this earth, it is understood that the earth was managed by the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. The duty of the Brahmanas is to cultivate Shama, peacefulness, Dhamma, self-control, Titiksha, tolerance, Satyam, truthfulness, Shocham, cleanliness, and arjavam, simplicity, and then to advise the Kshatriya kings how to rule the country or planet. So here, the Brahmanical qualities are mentioned. Cultivate Brahmanical qualities. And what are they?
Brahmana, Kshatriyas,
No, the quality of the
qualities,
Brahmana.
qualities. Shama, peacefulness, Dhamma, self-control, Titiksha, tolerance, Satyam, truthfulness, Socham, cleanliness, and Arjavam, simplicity.
Yeah. So we are all advised to cultivate these qualities: peacefulness, self control, tolerance, truthfulness, cleanliness, and simplicity. So the Brahmanas, they were tolerant, they were peaceful, they were self-controlled. That's how they were able to give advice to the kings. And the kings were ruling the earth on the advice of the Brahmanas. The kings are powerful, great leaders, great in management, but they are managing on the advice of the intelligence of the Brahmanas. Following the instructions of the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas should engage the populace in austerity, sacrifices, Vedic study, and adherence to the rules and regulations established by Vedic principles. They should also arrange for charity to be given to the Brahmanas, sannyasis, and temples. This is the godly arrangement of Brahmanical culture. So when the ruling was done by Brahmana and Kshatriya, then people were also given the opportunity to cultivate their spiritual life, live peacefully in this life, cultivate spiritual knowledge, and then at the end of life, go back home, back to Godhead. So it was structured in such a way. People are inclined to offer yajna because unless sacrifices are offered, there will be insufficient rain. Yagyat bhavati parjanya, which will hamper agricultural activities. Parjanyad anna sambhava. By introducing Brahmanical culture, therefore, a Kshatriya government should engage people in performing yajna, studying the Vedas, and giving charity. So Krishna says yajna has to be performed. Work for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu has to be done. The demigods will be happy. Then the demigods provide enough rain. With enough rain, we have enough grains, food to eat. So the necessities of life are met. So, and what is the yajna for this age of Kali?
Harinam Sankirtan, Yagya,
Yeah.
Harinam Sankirtan. Yeah.
Chanting.
chanting.
Yes.
Yeah. Holy name.
Yes. Chanting the holy name. Yes. Harinam Sankirtan. So thus the people will receive their necessities for life very easily, and there will be no disturbances in society. In this regard, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 3.12, Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyante yajna bhavita ter datan apradhay yebhyo yo bhungte stena evasa. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajna, sacrifice, supply all necessities to man. But he who enjoys these gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. So Krishna is saying that you do yajna, the demigods supply you whatever you need, but you have to offer them something in return. Give and take. So the demigods who are there, they are authorized supplying agents who act on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. So they're acting on behalf of Lord Vishnu. They are put in that managerial positions, in these important positions by Lord Vishnu. He's chosen them, who's going to go where. Therefore, they must be satisfied by the performance of prescribed yajnas. In the Vedas, there are different kinds of yajnas prescribed for different kinds of demigods. But all are ultimately offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For one who cannot understand what the Personality of Godhead is, sacrifice to the demigods is recommended. So all yajna is meant to satisfy Vishnu. The demigods first offer the sacrifice. The person who's doing the sacrifice, he makes some offerings, and those offerings are first offered to Lord Vishnu. And after Lord Vishnu is pleased, then the demigods take their share of sacrifice, not otherwise. So worship of different demigods is also on the same basis, namely according to different qualities. For example, the meat eaters are recommended to worship the goddess Kali, the ghastly form of material nature. And before the goddess, the sacrifice of animals is recommended. But for those in the mode of goodness, the transcendental worship of Vishnu is recommended. Ultimately, all yajnas are meant for gradual promotion to the transcendental position. So the Vedas, they prescribe different kinds of yajnas for different people, because each of us is differently affected by the modes of nature. There's sacrifice in the mode of ignorance. Somebody may want to be having to eat meat. Then the Vedas prescribe, okay, you do a sacrifice in front of Mother Kali. You kill the animal in front of her, chant some mantras, and the mantras say, as I'm killing you in this life, you kill me in the next life. And then one is recommended to eat. And so for the mode of ignorance, they directly take worship to Lord Vishnu. But what is the idea? Not to stay there, not to stay in that position, but gradually rise. Understand that I'm not the body, I'm the soul, I'm part and parcel of Krishna. I need to go back to the spiritual world. So all the Vedas are designed in such a way for the gradual elevation of our consciousness, of our soul, not to stay there that, oh, I'm used to doing this, so I'm going to do it. No, but to come to the transcendental platform, to come to Krishna consciousness, to understand ourself, to understand Krishna, to understand our relationship with him. For ordinary men, at least 5 yajnas, known as Pancha Mahayajna, are necessary. I don't know what these Pancha Mahayajna are, but I know the yajna that is recommended for Kali Yuga for all of us is the Sankirtan yajna, chanting the holy names of the Lord. So one should know, however, that all the necessities of life that human society requires are supplied by the demigod agents of the Lord. No one can manufacture anything. So here Prabhupada is explaining to us the position of the demigods. The demigods are providing us the necessities, yes, but they are not creating them. They are agents. They're giving us rain, they're giving us grains, but they're not creating the rains or the grains. Krishna has given them different agency. Like there is a company, say Apple. So Apple is creating the products, and then it gives agency to different people to distribute different products. So similarly, Lord Krishna, he is the creator. And the demigods, they are the agents. Consider, for example, all the eatables of human society. These eatables include grains, fruits, vegetables, milk, and sugar for persons in the mode of goodness, and also eatables for the non-vegetarians, such as meats, none of which can be manufactured by men. So we have advanced so much. Our human society has advanced, but we cannot manufacture in our factory any grains or fruits. We are depending on nature for that. We cannot manufacture a seed in the factory. We depend on God for this. The seed is created by the Supreme Lord. Then again, take, for example, heat, light, water, and air, which are also necessities of life. None of them can be manufactured by human society. We can't. heat, light, water, and air. We can't create water, it's there. We can transform one energy to another, but we can't create them. The manufacturer is the Supreme Lord. Without the Supreme Lord, there can be no profuse sunlight, moonlight, rainfall, or breeze, without which no one can live. Obviously, our life is dependent on supplies from the Lord. Even for our manufacturing enterprises, we require so many raw materials like metal, sulfur, mercury, manganese, and so many essentials, all of which are supplied by the agents of the Lord with the purpose that we should make proper use of them to keep ourselves fit and healthy for the purpose of self realization, leading to the ultimate goal of life, namely liberation from the material struggle for existence. So, Krishna has provided us. He's providing us whatever we need, our necessities. He's providing us the rains, the grains, the air, the heat, the light, all the metals, the minerals. They are being supplied to us by the demigods. And what's the purpose? We take how much ever we need. We all need certain quota for maintenance. We take that what we need, be peaceful, cultivate spiritual knowledge, cultivate Krishna consciousness, so that after we give up this body, we can go to the spiritual world. We don't need to be in this material world anymore. Permanent solution to birth, death, old age, and disease. Because till the time we are in this material world, there is a struggle for existence. It's a hard struggle, karshati. So we don't need to do this. We just have to get out of this material world. You know, we may say, like, join the rat race. Why run the race? Why? Just get out of the material world. This aim of life is attained by performance of yagyas. If we forget the purpose of human life and simply take supplies from the agents of the Lord for sense gratification and become more and more entangled in material existence, which is not the purpose of creation, certainly we become thieves and therefore we are punished by the laws of material nature. So, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita that we become thieves if we are taking these resources without understanding what are we doing here, what is the purpose of the creation. If we think that we are just to be meant to be continuously living here in the material world, take all the resources as our according to our whim and fancy, then we are becoming implicated more and more in the law of karma, and we are liable to be punished by the laws of material nature. The purpose of creation is to help us get out of this material creation, help us to get out of this material world. A society of thieves can never be happy, for they have no aim in life. They are simply directed to sense gratification, nor do they have knowledge of how to perform yagyas. Lord Chaitanya, however, inaugurated the easiest performance of yagya, namely the Sankirtan Yagya, which can be performed by anyone in the world who accepts the principles of Krishna consciousness. So Sankirtan Yagya, inaugurated by Lord Chaitanya himself, Kali Yuga Dharma, Harinam Sankirtan. Lord Chaitanya came to give us this Kali Yuga Dharma. Hiraṇyakaśipu planned to kill the inhabitants of earth so that Yagya would stop and the demigods, being disturbed, would die automatically when Lord Vishnu, the Yagyeshwar, was killed. These were the demoniac plans of Hiraṇyakaśipu, who was expert in such activities. So he wanted to kill Vishnu and he wanted to kill the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas. So then there would be no yagyas being done and the demigods would be killed. This is his master plan. Comments, questions?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Shama,
Krishna.
you said the Lord created the Varnashram Shama system, the four divisions of human society. according to the modes of material nature.
Yeah.
And what else it was?
And work subscribe, and the work
And the world.
ascribe to them. Guna and karma. You're able to see it? I put it on the
Yeah.
screen here.
Yes. Yeah, it's so guna and karma.
Yeah. So based on our, um, so it's not based on birth that somebody is born in the body of family of Brahman, Kshatriya. Okay, think of it like that.
Oh,
Somebody is born in a family of lawyers, the father, grandfather, great grandfather, or lawyers. Does one automatically become lawyer? Can we say that
no,
he's a lawyer just because he's born in the family of lawyers?
no, no.
No, right? He has to go study the law. He has to have the inclination. Has to have the desire to study the law. He has to actually study it, pass the exams, and then he becomes a lawyer. Right? So similarly, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they were not on birth, but on the quality. What's the nature of the person? Is the person more inclined to studying scriptures, or is he more inclined to leadership? What is he inclined to business, or is he inclined to service? What's the natural inclination? What is the modes he's affected by? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Going forward. Vishnu Dvija Kriyamulo.
Vishnu Dvija Kriya Mulo
Yagyo Dharmamaya Pumar.
Yagyo Dharmamaya Puman
Devarshi Pitri Bhutanam.
Devarshi Pitra Bhutanam
Dharmasya Cha Parayanam.
Dharmasya Cha Parayanam.
The basic principle of Brahmanical culture is to satisfy Lord Vishnu, the personification of sacrificial and ritualistic ceremonies. Lord Vishnu is the personified reservoir of all religious principles, and he is the shelter of all the demigods, the great pitas, and the people in general. When the Brahmanas are killed, no one will exist to encourage the Kshatriyas to perform yagyas, and thus the demigods, not being appeased by yagya, will automatically die. So, Brahminical culture to satisfy Lord Vishnu. Since Vishnu is a central point of Brahminical culture, Hiraṇyakashipu's plan was to kill Vishnu. For if Vishnu were killed naturally, the Brahminical culture would also be lost. With Brahminical culture lost, yagya would no longer be performed, and for want of yagya, the regular distribution of rainfall would cease, yagyat bhavati parjanya. Thus, there would be disturbances all over the world, and naturally, the demigods would be defeated. So he's saying, I'm going to kill Vishnu. Then who and the Brahmanas. So I'll kill Vishnu. Who are the Brahmanas going to offer the sacrifice to? And I'll kill the Brahmanas also. So there's no one to offer the sacrifices. So in both ways, the demigods are going to die because the demigods are dependent on Vishnu and they're dependent on Yagya. So I'm going to kill the demigods in this way. So from this verse, we get a clear indication of how human society is disturbed when the Vedic Aryan civilization is killed and the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies performed by the Brahmanas are stopped. Kalau Shudra Sambhava, because the population of the modern world consists mostly of Shudras. The Brahmanical culture is now lost and is extremely difficult to re-establish in a proper way. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya has recommended the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, which will revive Brahmanical culture very easily. So in Kali Yuga, mostly all of us are born Shudras. We have to cultivate the Brahmanical culture. We have to cultivate the Brahmanical qualities. We have to make an effort. And where is the beginning? Start chanting. Yes, thank you. Start chanting the holy name. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nameva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatir Anyatha. Because of the increment in demoniac population, people have lost Brahmanical culture. Nor is there a Kshatriya government. Instead, the government is a democracy in which any Shudra can be voted into taking up the governmental reins and capture the power to rule. Because of the poisonous effects of Kali Yuga, the Shastra Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 2, Text 13 says, Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu. The government will adopt the policies of Dasyus or plunderers. Thus, there will be no instructions from the Brahmanas, and even if there are Brahmanical instructions, there will be no Kshatriya rulers who can follow them. So we can see it's practically, this is what's happening. There's democracies, and then there's unfit rulers put in the positions, and people are unhappy. Then they say, okay, next time we'll vote for another one. And then again, there is some other kind of unhappiness, then say, okay, we'll vote for another one. But because we are not voting from the right quality of people, because they don't exist, the real Kshatriyas, barely any real Kshatriyas exist. And the Brahmanas, even if they are there are no Kshatriyas to follow the Brahmanical instructions. Aside from Satyug, even formerly in the days when demons were flourishing, Hiraṇyakaśipu planned to destroy the Brahmanical culture and the Kshatriya government and thus create chaos all over the world. Although in Satyug this plan was very difficult to execute, in Kali Yuga, which is full of Shudras and demons, the Brahmanical culture is lost and can be revived only by the chanting of the Mahamantra. So now that's the hope, chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement or the Hare Krishna movement has been inaugurated to revive Brahmanical culture very easily so that people may become happy and peaceful in this life and prepare for elevation in the next. So, Brahmanical culture encourages or makes, it provides for us to be happy and peaceful. At the same time, cultivate spiritual knowledge and then go back home after we give up this body. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya quotes this verse from the Brahmanda Puran. Vipra yagyadi moolam tu harir iti asuram matam harir eva hi sarvasya moolam samyan maton ripa. O king, the demons think that Hari, Lord Vishnu, exists because of the Brahmanas and Yajna. But factually, Hari is the cause of everything, including the Brahmanas and Yajna. Therefore, through the popularizing of Hari Kirtan or the Sankirtan movement, the Brahmanical culture and Kshatriya government will automatically come back and people will be extremely happy. So Prabhupada is quoting Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya is quoting the verse from Brahmanda Puran. So Brahmanda Puran is saying that the demons are thinking, oh, Lord Vishnu is existing. Why? Because he is maintained by the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas are doing yajna. And so that's how Lord Vishnu is existing, not understanding the position of Lord Vishnu. He is God. He is the one who's maintaining the Brahmanas, providing everything for the Brahmanas to perform the yajna. So the hope that we have in this age of Kali is Harinam Sankirtan, to revive Brahmanical culture, to bring peace in society, and then at the end of life go back home, back to Godhead. Is that okay?
Yes.
So we can see how important it is that we ourselves understand the philosophy, follow the philosophy, and try to distribute it. so that we can be happy, everyone else can be happy, and then go back home, back to Godhead. I don't know if we'll be able to finish this. Do you want me to start this one?
We can do tomorrow.
Yeah, we
Tomorrow.
can
Okay.
do.
Okay. So we'll stop here for today. Thank you all so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.